Welcome to another episode of the I Am Jen Wilson, the Healing Rebel podcast, and I am excited to have Lesley Canis from the Scottish Women's Wellbeing Summit. Got that all out this time. And this is our take 2 of this recording. We did try to record this a couple of weeks ago and it was too hot and Lesley's phone overheated and the sound was all terrible, so we're having a second attempt at recording it. And I feel like sometimes when you come back and do things the second time, there's stuff that we maybe missed the last time that are going to definitely come out this time. So it's always great to have a second opportunity to do things. So welcome back. Thank you very much for giving me your time again, Lesley.
Oh, no, thank you very much for having me again. It was my fault entirely, so I'm glad to be back. And do you know, I think that we did a really good set the first time round, so it was a shame, but hopefully we'll make it even better this time.
This one's just going to be better. I know it will.
We'll just knock it out the park.
We will indeed. So why don't you introduce the listeners or watchers to who you are and what it is that you are doing in this great world?
Yes, so my name is Lesley Canis and I'm the founder and organiser of the Scottish Women's Wellbeing Summit. So the Scottish Women's Wellbeing Summit is a women's wellbeing and leadership forum taking place on the 15th of November 2025 at the Old Course Hotel in St Andrews. 2 seconds.
That's all right. You're choking and I'm burning up here, so I'm just going to strip off a layer.
Might have to go for take 3, Jen.
What location? Like the Old Course at St Andrews. What a beautiful Scottish location. Like,
yeah, it's absolutely stunning.
Iconic for an iconic event.
Yeah, so the event has really picked up a lot of traction. There's a lot of really exciting things happening at the moment. Gail Porter has just shared the event, and I've literally just before I came on to here with you had a actress and presenter who does BBC Radio 4 and stuff has just messaged me to ask if she can host the event. Now, at the moment, I've got Caroline Blair hosting, but I do know that Caroline has possibly got a little overlap because she has a presenting job as well, so she may not be able to do the full hosting on the day. And I had been thinking about who I was going to get, and obviously the universe is listening because this just popped into my inbox. So yeah, lots of really exciting things happening, but the event is the first of its kind in Scotland, and I have had a really good look around, and as far as I can tell, now I may be wrong, and if I am, please do let me know. As far as I can tell, I don't think there's another event like this in the UK. So what we have, I don't think there is. So what we have is we have a main stage lineup of absolute powerhouse women. So we've got Dr. Jo Salter. Now, Jo was Britain's first female fighter jet pilot. She, since leaving the RAF, has gone on to hold global leadership roles at PwC. She's currently the global advisory of Gen AI at PwC. What she doesn't know about building inclusive, safe teams and leadership and how we make workplaces safe spaces for our employees and our team probably isn't worth knowing. We also have Kate Muir. Now, Kate is a writer and journalist. She wrote and produced Davina McCall's menopause documentaries. So since that, there's been a huge uptake. I think around 1 million more women since those documentaries have started HRT. Now, HRT is not the only path to take, but I think people who would have been suitable for, who were maybe a bit frightened of it, have now taken it up in light of those documentaries. So Kate is actually fundamental to the movement and the conversation that's happening around menopause now that was not happening before, certainly bringing it out of the taboo. She's also researched the pill and done a pill documentary as well. Pill documentary too, and the book. So really trying to bring to light women's hormones and make them a conversation that we're having. I mean, we all have them, right? But I think in the workplace, women's well-being's great until it's inconvenient, right? So in the whole of the UK, only 25% of employers actually have a menopause policy in place. Now, 46% do include well-being menopause in their well-being activities. So it's tick box exercises. You
Yeah.
know, the management, the line managers are lacking training in menopause, they're lacking training in menstrual care. Menstrual care is actually terrible in the workplace. So we have got, I think about 12% of employees in the UK have said that their work actually has some kind of menstrual support, you know, or endometriosis support. And even where that is there, they lack the training, the tools, and the ability to have the conversations around it. So, I mean, I don't know, you'll know yourself, you've suffered with endometriosis for years. I have PMDD. So you will know yourself sitting in a meeting, cramping up, not wanting to embarrass yourself by saying, I'm really ill here, I need to go and take a painkiller and check that I'm not leaking right through my clothes. You know, the feeling of sitting there, the embarrassment, the feeling like you're not so good at your job because you can't take anything in that moment. You're in agony, and it's, you know, feeling like less than almost because you're not contributing the same way. That's huge. That is
Yeah.
absolutely huge for women. So we really want to open up those conversations. We really want the women leaders who are coming here to go away with the tools to be able to say, right, we need to get this implemented in our workplace. How do we do it? This is ways that we can make workplaces more inclusive for the women who are coming to work, you know, so she's not sitting there trying to gob a paracetamol with a drink of water while you're sitting in a staff meeting and trying to hide it, you know. So sorry, I digress. So Kate's been really integral to that. We then have Dr. Heather Curry. So Heather is the clinical lead for gynecology outpatients in Scotland. She's also the managing director of Menopause Matters. We'll all have seen Menopause Matters magazine. She is a co-founder and former chair of the British Menopause Society, and she will be talking to us all about myths, misinformation, what you really do need to know, particularly when it comes to what could be life-saving for you. So she's also going to be talking about post-reproductive screening, the importance of it, and although it can become quite uncomfortable when you hit menopause, for, you know, there's the dryness that affects your ability to go for screening. So there's also things that can be done around that. So Heather will be talking to us all about that sort of stuff, and she'll be letting us know, you know, things that really could be life-saving information. She's also trained employers on how to implement menopause policies, how to do this safely. So, you know, there is discussion there as well, but Heather will really be focusing on the clinical, what you need to know as a woman. And it's funny because the last time you and I spoke, you had said, you know, I'm in this echo chamber of women who are constantly talking about menopause. So when someone says, this is happening to me, I don't know what it is, does anybody know? You're like, how do they not know that?
Yeah.
Because you're hearing it all the time. And what I was actually talking about with Heather the other day is, you know, I'm in this echo chamber where everyone's talking about menopause, and I still feel completely in the dark coming up to menopause. I still feel like my mum went through menopause and it was a non-event. And I think the closer I get to menopause, the less my PMDD plays up. I'm getting better the older I get. So I'm really hoping my menopause is going to be a non-event. But that may not be the case. But I still feel a little bit in the dark. Like I'm still looking out for all these signs of the fact that I'm perimenopausal or I'm in menopause, and I don't see them yet. You know, and I
Yeah.
think
But my
excuse me.
consultant, I've got endometriosis and Crohn's disease, and I've spoken to my consultant saying, how is menopause going to play out for me? Because I'm not the first female that you've had in your office that's coming in perimenopause and menopause. How will this be different for me because I live with chronic inflammation? Oh, we don't know. And I'm like, but you've had other women. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Well,
There's,
Jen, you're coming along to the summit, so hopefully you can get some answers to that.
yeah, I'll be able to ask the questions and get some answers. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. Heather has, I think, exclusively worked in post-reproductive health for the last 25, 30 years, studying it intimately, seeing patients, female patients, obviously, intimately for the last 25, 30 years, and it's purely been based on post-reproductive health. So she'll have her own data and stuff around, how will that affect you with extra issues, other issues at play?
Yeah. I did go and research it myself, because clearly the medical people were not interested in finding out. And there is a bit of research there. It's probably Heather's research that I did find, but it's all academic papers which aren't accessible to everybody. Like you read some of the language and you're like, what? What do
Yeah.
you mean? So, and I've got a science background, so I do understand it. But for other people who are in similar situation but maybe don't have that same background, how are they meant to access this information? So the fact that you're putting this forward is amazing, because we were
I
now
mean,
going to have it in real people speak.
absolutely. I mean, unless you've got a GP who is a specialist in women's health and in menopause, and who's really takes an interest and studies it, and you're going to the doctor and you're getting a general practitioner who practices a little bit of everything but doesn't specialise so much, unless you've got a GP that has specialised in post-reproductive health.
Yeah.
And a lot of GP surgeries just don't have that. There may be the odd few that do, but it's not very common.
Yeah. No.
So we have Heather there to definitely get us through the misinformation,
Brilliant.
and make sure that we're really well informed about our own health and things that we can do for our own health and safety. So as well as Heather, we have Elizabeth Spencer has come on as a speaker. So Elizabeth runs a kick in Aberdeen. Elizabeth runs the Aberdeen Ethnic Minority Women's Group. She also runs the Women's Shed up in Aberdeen. Elizabeth is like literally on the ground helping women. The other night she was answering a phone call in the middle of the night for a woman experiencing domestic abuse. She's along there. She's got volunteers along there. She's getting them out. She's integral to the community for women
Yeah.
in Aberdeen, and the institutional racism that comes through. Elizabeth is really trying to battle that,
Yes.
especially for women. At the moment, she's launched an appeal for a mum who's got beautiful 4-month-old twins, and her own mum is really, really sick. She needs urgent care, and the woman who she's launching the appeal for she's got 4 months to go before she graduates with her nursing degree, but she
Yeah.
can't get childcare. Her mum needs urgent care, and there's no way that she can get childcare, and she has been really let down by the system. And I can't remember exactly all the details, but I know that she's had a couple of horrific things said to her by health visitors. She can't access the system. So at the moment, Elizabeth is raising funds to try and make sure that she has childcare costs so she can get the last 4 months of her degree finished, and she's in an
Yeah.
impossible situation. So that's Elizabeth's work. She is really grassroots, getting on the ground, doing it. She also has a background in the fashion industry. So the Women's Shed looks at circular fashion. So they upcycle and like,
Amazing.
yeah, sustainability through crafting. So she's got quite a lot going on there, and she's really interested to talk about. She's got a lot of insights into the issues that are facing minority women in Scotland. Because we as women, we struggle. Well, not struggle. That's not the right word, but we do face issues.
Yeah.
Okay, we face issues that men just don't. In leadership roles across the UK, I think it's something like only 11% that are held by women. Less. I think it's about 2% of all capital funding goes to female founders. We do have extra barriers up. If you're a minority woman, that number's even less. I think it's 1% of minority women in female leadership roles, and it's even less venture capital that's invested if you're a minority.
Yeah.
So Elizabeth will be there talking about how we can make workplaces much more inclusive for minority women as well,
Yeah.
and how we can help to support minority women in our community as well. So that would be really great to hear from Elizabeth, and she's so passionate. She really is. She's really great to speak to. She's so passionate about it, and she'd do it much more justice than I can. She's much more eloquent on the subject. But she's she's great. And we also have Sharon. We all know Sharon. If you
Yo,
don't know Sharon, you should know Sharon. I've got Sharon Miller, who's runs Joyworks. So Sharon, we all know Sharon does Joyworks, and she's goes in, and she comes from a place of joy as a transformation for change, and it oozes out of every pore of Sharon. This
yeah,
joyful energy. And so Sharon's actually going to be kicking the summit off, because
amazing.
I knew the day that I met Sharon, I wanted her to kick this summit off. Sharon just oozes this infectious energy, and that energy will set the tone for the day.
Yeah,
So she'll get everybody up on their feet, she'll get everybody laughing, bonding, feeling joyous, feeling like a collective joy, and that's what we want to start the day with. Who else have we got? We've got Dr. Deborah Kayembe. Now, I can't actually tell all of Deborah's story on camera because I cry every time I try to tell it. And I'm not about to sit and cry all over the podcast. So I'm not going to tell her full story. I'm going to abbreviate it so that I don't cry. I'd like cry with like emotion of what she's gone through, but also like so much pride and
yeah,
where the heights that she's reached, So yeah, I'm absolutely in awe of Dr. Kayembe. So she had been a human rights lawyer practicing for over 10 years in the Democratic Republic of Congo. She had to flee. She was pregnant at the time. She had to flee the Congo. She'd uncovered some information at government level. Her life was in danger. Um, a long, grueling journey to the
mm,
UK, months and months and months. So she was 8 months pregnant when she arrived in the UK, and she was absolutely, she said she was so skinny you couldn't tell she was pregnant because she had been eating so little all the way.
yeah,
It's a long journey. And when she got here, she said the first 5 days that she was here, she almost starved to death. She didn't know where to go for refuge. She didn't know where to go to seek asylum. She didn't have any money left. It was like, and then
yeah.
on the fifth day, she found where to go. And when she first applied for asylum, it was denied. The Home Office didn't believe her story. So I don't know how, but she somehow arranged a meeting with Jack Straw, the Home Secretary at the time, and travelled to London to meet him. He heard her story, heard everything, and was like, well, yeah, we believe you. We know this to be true. So her asylum was granted at that point. Because she had been a human rights lawyer for 10 years in the DRC, she had applied to the London bar, and they had come back and said, no, we're not, we don't recognise your Congolese qualifications. You'd have to sit them all again. She said, well, I'm not doing that. What's my other options here? So they said Scotland will recognise most of your qualifications. Um, you just have to do a little bit to requalify for the bar. So she was like, that's fine. And she drove to Scotland with her kids. By that point, she'd brought over her youngest daughter as well. So she drove north with the kids and came to Scotland. So she she's also a linguist. She speaks 7 languages. She helps translation services for women who are fleeing domestic abuse. She also sits on the International Criminal Court now. She's a member of the Young Society for Scotland. They had actually asked her to come along and work with them after seeing her speak at the Scottish Parliament. And when she'd first gone along to the Young Society, she said she got lost and she ended up in this room, which is all of their portraits. All men, all white, not one woman in there, not one person of colour in there. So her
Yeah,
portrait is now hung in there, which is
amazing.
just amazing.
Yeah,
And she's just finished her term as rector for Edinburgh University. So she's now she's got several charities that are like I think across 60 countries that she has founded and that she helps run. She is an absolute like powerhouse isn't the word. Powerhouse is not the word.
it's
She is a tornado, she will, as a woman who will not be stopped.
amazing.
So, yeah, absolutely amazing to have Deborah on the stage telling her story. And when I asked her about her story, she said, when I get up on the stage, I start by talking about my community and the community of women that I came from and my heritage and how that shaped me. She's like, because as women, it's the women behind us that shape us. So I
Yes.
dare you all not to cry.
Get goosebumps.
What's that?
Get goosebumps.
You got goosebumps. I know, I did too when I heard her story. I was like, oh my God, I want to make a movie out of this woman. Like, she's amazing. So yeah, I dare you all not to cry on the day. So we've got Deborah, and who have I not mentioned? We've got Sally. So Sally owns Far From the Madding Crowd bookshop in Linlithgow, and she is a councillor for the Lib Dems in Linlithgow. So Sally will be talking to us all about being a female founder, but also she'll be talking to us about the government's women's health plan. So the Scottish government really wanted to position itself as a world leader in women's health, right, with this women's health plan. But what's actually happened is they've wrapped it up in October, and although they've assigned a women's champion and they're looking at things, there's the emphasis isn't really on it anymore. And what we're seeing is that the rollout of that plan across regions has been varying. So you may get access to a women's health centre, you may not. There may be clear roads to go. It'll be your luck of the draw.
Yeah.
For where you are, which region you're in. And they also want to really encourage employers as well to put into place women's health policies, not just activities or wellbeing days, but actual policies. And as usual, practice lags behind policy. So employers who actually jump on board now, send their staff to the summit, learn about this and actually implement the policies are going to be ahead of the curve, which is really important because companies with women in leadership roles outperform those who don't have diverse leadership teams by 21%. So this is about your bottom line.
Yeah.
It's not just about looking good. This is about your bottom line. There's new data being released as well that says that women who are in leadership roles, just as they're hitting their peak, just as they're hitting their stride, and they should be taken off when they've had all this money and training invested in them by companies for years and years and years, they hit midlife, they're in toxic work environments, and they're just not taking anybody's shit anymore. They're like, nah, I'm out of here, bye. So all that money, all that training, that amazing leader, you've just lost. Because your company's not investing in well-being and looking after your women the way it should. So this is about bottom lines as well. This is costing the UK economy millions.
Yes.
It really is. So we have Sally coming to talk to us about the Women's Health Plan, and we have Lee Donald. So Lee is an award-winning PT. I think she's won over 30 awards since she qualified about 10 years ago. And she summited Everest last year successfully, making her the 7th Scottish woman to do it. She's in training now to take on K2 next year, which absolutely terrifies me, but I think she loves the heights. I think originally she had planned to do one of the poles.
Right, okay.
But she just wasn't feeling it. She said, I just had this nagging, like I need to go up.
I've lost you.
Are you there? I can still see you, Jen.
You're back.
Where did you lose me?
She was going to do one of the two polls, but something was nagging, and then she went into something.
So she was going to do one of the polls, but she wasn't feeling it. She had this nagging feeling she wanted to go back up a hill. So she's away to do K2 next year. And if she does it, she will be the first Scottish person, I believe, ever to have successfully summited it, making her the first Scottish person, not just women, to have ever summited both successfully.
Amazing.
So yeah, so she is incredible, and she has her own rock bottom to top of the world story, quite literally. She overcame a 15-year eating disorder, alcohol addiction, smoking. She's got exercise-induced asthma and a fear of heights. I don't know how she keeps getting up these hills. So Lee will be on the stage talking us through resilience, small changes, small, manageable, effective changes that are realistic for you. It doesn't have to be big, grand, I'm going to do everything kind of thing, but, small, manageable changes. So that's our lineup on the stage. I think I've covered everybody. Have I missed anyone? I've got Kate, Jo, Heather, Elizabeth, Dr. Kayembe, Sharon, Sally, and Lee. No, I've got everybody. And I might have another speaker coming on as well.
Maybe it's a space.
Maybe. There's not really space, but I might have to make some. The energy that I'm getting with this summit, the people that want to come and speak for me, and the workshops that are being run. And yourself, you're running a workshop, Jen. So Jen is working at the summit. She will be running 2 Love Your Lymph self-guided lymphatic drainage massage workshops, which is really important. Tell us why that's really important, Jen.
It's really important because your lymphatic system is your internal sewage system, and in this industrialised world that we now live in, and with the sedentary lifestyle that so many of us live, our lymph isn't clearing properly, which means that our system's getting congested. It means that we're then living with more inflammation in our body. And we now know that the underlying cause of nearly every illness and disease out there is chronic inflammation. So by supporting your own body's natural detoxification system, we can start to reduce inflammation in our body and then hopefully eliminate disease, but if not, give your body a more resilient body to be able to manage when and if you do come up against any kind of illness or disease.
That is why Jen is running that workshop at the summit. Because these are real strategies and tools that you can take away and do at home by yourself. You don't need to go and join a class. You don't need to, I mean, it's great if you do, there's online classes, I believe. But if you've just got 10 minutes in the morning to yourself and you don't really want to join in, you can sit and do this at home by yourself, and Jen will give you the tools to do that.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's why it's really important.
it's
Our other workshops we have just recently come on, we've got Linda Stewart. So Linda will be running a Soma breathwork workshop. So Linda is the owner of Hot Yoga Glasgow, which I think is the biggest yoga studio in Scotland actually. And she is now setting up the breathwork reset. She's a qualified Soma breathwork instructor. So her class will entail breathwork that quickly gets you into quite a meditative state. It also involves movement and music as well. So there's a lot going on in Linda's workshop. Sounds really great. I hope I can make it along to one of Linda's workshops as well. And we have, so we've got yourself, we've got Linda, we've got Claire Hunter. So Claire is one of the UK's leading medical herbalists, and she has specialism in women's health. She's been working in that field for over 15 years. She founded the Hunter Institute, and she now works out of Esteem Life Medical Group in Glasgow. So Claire will be providing a workshop all about herbal medicine for women's health. It will be immersive, it will be hands-on. You'll get to see and taste and touch the blends. She will be talking about how she puts blends together. So herbal medicine, I believe, I'm not an expert, but it's not quite the same as modern medicine. How, you can't take ibuprofen and another type of tablet at the same time, but you can take ibuprofen and paracetamol. Herbal medicines, I think, are much more, you can blend much more freely. So you can get a compound that treats a few different things, or a combination of plants to really treat one thing.
Yeah, it's very specific to the individual, and
Yes.
it's changeable as well. So you might only need to be on one herb for a short period of time, and then switch, and then depending on how your body responds, and if there's any other symptoms, so that it's always change with your personal season, but also the seasons out there. Yeah.
So like you said, it's very personalised. It's very personalised to you, to your needs, to your illnesses, to your cycles, to your hormones. She's very, very personalised. And Claire, I was through on Saturday at Esteem Life Medical Group, and Claire is just fantastic. She is absolutely fantastic. I cannot wait to see her workshop as well. I want to go to everything. My mum's like, Lesley, you do know that you're going to have to be like overseeing everything goes okay. I'm like, I want to go to everything. So yeah. So Claire will be running 2 workshops on the day. We've got Marisol James. So Marisol is an international best-selling writer, and she worked at top level leadership position around the world for a good while, and then she became an international best-selling writer, 32 books under her belt. And then she met a man who had narcissistic personality disorder or narcissistic traits. I think we use narcissism a lot, but really it's emotional abuse, and it's emotional manipulation, and it's all about them first and you second. And so I think Marisol had been, don't quote me on how much she had been earning, but she'd been making a good couple of $100,000 a year on royalties from her books, and she'd been pushing that. Now, by the end of that 6 years, by the time that her empire had dwindled, because he needed her to run his business, he needed her to do everything for him, and there was no time for her to spend on her empire. So by the end of the 6 years, I think she was down to about £500 a month in royalties. So yeah, really, really dwindled away. Lots of emotional roller coasters, manipulations, and then from that, Marisol really deep dove into researching narcissism and emotional abuse. So she is coming along to the summit to provide 2 workshops on narcissism, emotional abuse, and why these kinds of men target high value women, because we are targets for them for very specific reasons. And so she'll be talking all about why they do that, how you can protect yourself from it, how you can recognize it in the early stages. Her second workshop will be more tailored towards employers. So if you're coming along from a leadership team, you might want to go and attend that. We really don't have very many employers who have domestic abuse policies in place. There was a new guidance released just this week, actually, by Close the Gap in conjunction with Rape Crisis Scotland, who have released guidance for managers to recognise if a woman's been raped, if their colleague has been raped or sexually assaulted, and guidance on how they can make workplaces or how they can help her to come forward or to feel seen. So I don't know how big an uptake this will have. It's great that the guidance has been released. It's great if employers take it seriously. But overall, I think that there's really not the support in workplaces for domestic abuse. And, a man who had commented on one of Marisol's posts has said, I worked beside this woman. She was part of my leadership team. She was amazing. She was a firecracker. She was always voicing an opinion in the boardroom. She was amazing. And then over time, he started noticing that, excuse me, I've got this horrible cold and it's going into my chest. So over time, he started to notice that actually she was spending more and more time at work, but the quality of her work was falling.
Yeah.
It was like she just didn't want to go home, but the work wasn't tying up with the amount of time that she was spending there. And on top of that, what else did she do? She got really quiet. She had been really outgoing in meetings and really confident in saying what she had to say, but she got really, really quiet in meetings and really withdrawn, didn't voice her opinion or have a big input. And I think eventually she left the job. I think she was kind of sidelined out of the job. So it's really important for workplaces to have the tools and training in place to recognise this in their female colleagues. So Marisol will be talking about how do we recognise the signs of emotional abuse in women in the workplace? How do we recognise it in our colleagues? How do we recognise if something's wrong? Because all of those factors, the withdrawn, the not wanting to go home, the flinching, the kind of being a rabbit in headlights where you were once, the big shift in personality, they're across the board for all types of abuse for women. So how do we recognise that? And then when we do recognise it, how do we deal with it? It's part of women's well-being. Keeping women safe is part of our well-being. How can employers help to support that?
Yeah, and you spend a third of your day in the workplace, and you work with become like your substitute family almost. Like when I had jobs. The people that I worked with, I was super close to. I didn't just spend time and work with them, I then socialised with them and stuff like that. So they were like my family at the
Yeah.
time I was there. So you need to be able to trust that there's at least somebody there that you can go to, that you can lean on, that you can say, I need help, and then them know how to respond to that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think what you've got to remember as well is a lot of these big corporations have, in fact, all of them have legal departments. So even if there's not a domestic abuse policy in place, even if there's a training for managers and, to recognise it in their colleagues and to be able to say, we can get you some legal advice. Or,
To say,
yeah, there are ways to help your employees.
yeah.
So, and it doesn't necessarily mean that you have a policy in place. It means that you swoop in and rescue them from, where they are. That's not
Yeah.
necessarily what we're saying, but there are things that employers can do.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah, so Marisol's delivering that. So we're covering all the bases here. We're covering everything. And then we have Stream Life Medical Group have come on board because Claire's come on board. So they are going to be running a workshop all around debunking myths around women's aging, the marketing myths that you're being sold. So we're running a pre-summit webinar as well, and that'll be free, but we will be asking for a £5 donation to Fife Women's Aid. So this webinar will have Dr. Sidra Khan. She is a consultant dermatologist with a specialism in skin aging. So you really want to tune in for Sidra because so much knowledge. You're actually going to learn what you need. You do not need that medicine cabinet full of all of those serums and products and everything. And it was really interesting for me when I was speaking to Sidra because I'm like, I get really dry around my nose when I'm using hyaluronic acid. She said it is dry and it really dries out, it evaporates into the air really quickly and it takes all your natural moisture with it. So if you're going to use it, you need something really greasy on top of it to hold that moisture in.
Yeah.
But I can't use it. It burns me. It's not for everyone. And then I asked about collagen. I'm like, I take my collagen every day. Is this helping? And she was like, She was like, I mean, marine collagen is good, right? Marine collagen is like, especially in powder form, is proven to be the best. But when you take collagen in, your body uses it as a building block for wherever it needs it. Because almost every organ in the body uses collagen, right? So it breaks it down into building blocks and it sends it where it's needed. So for it to have any impact on your skin, you need to be taking it for a long period of time consistently. And even then, you're only going to see a minimum impact on your skin. Really, it's going to go to, and that doesn't mean that collagen's bad. It's going to go to all the places in your body that need it. So, but don't think that it's going to be amazing. You're going to go, oh, I'm young, I'm taking collagen. It's not going to happen.
That's the same for vitamin D. Like when you take vitamin D, all your organs get allocated the resources first. Your skin is always last because while you need your skin to hold you together, you don't need your skin to be
to live. That.
It's not it is a vital organ, but it's also not a vital organ. Like if your skin gets decrepit, you're not going to die.
I mean, I think from what Sidra was saying the other day, actually, your skin's much more important than we think.
Yeah.
It plays a much bigger role than we think, and I really want to deep dive into that with her on the webinar. But you're right. I mean, your other organs that, if they get damaged, it's life threatening. Your body is going to prioritize those. So yeah. But your skin is much more important than we give it credit for. So I had no idea.
It's an
it's our biggest organ. So lots of myths being debunked, lots of marketing myths, what you do need, what you don't need, especially around skincare, but also around kind of women's health and aging well. So the workshops at the summit will be around women's aging well or healthy aging. There's a lot of myths around it. There's a lot of, I don't want to say snake oil because there's a lot of stuff out there that's really good, but there's a lot of myths as well. and it's a lot of marketing, and we're bombarded. So
All the time, because it's all
all the
about the
time.
money.
So at Seam Life, they are going to be coming in to help our ladies with that, which is super valuable.
Yeah.
We have Melina Ingalls. Melina owns Core Business. Now, Melina has worked with some of the top companies in helping around their business strategies. So IBM, other businesses, I can't remember off the top of my head, but Melina will be there on the day providing workshops around how to stay energized in your business, because we've got corporate teams coming, but we've got female founders coming as well. So Melina's workshop will be all about strategies and processes and systems in your business, but also how to make sure that you stay energized, how to make sure that you stay on track. So Melina will be there doing that on the day. And what else do we have? What else? I've got another couple coming on board, but I can't talk about them yet. But they're really good.
You've got Lee.
I've
Is it
got
Lee?
you.
No, you've got Lee. Lee Walls.
So our immersive. So we've got our workshops,
Yes.
right? That's
Right.
we've got our
Well,
stage. Our stage is here. We've got our workshops happening throughout the day as well. So you
yeah.
pick which workshops you want to go to. They happen simultaneously to the speakers on stage. So you have to make some hard decisions. And then
Oh,
yeah, and then we've got our immersive wellbeing experiences. So these are first thing in the morning. We've got our wild sea dip and our Kundalini yoga. So we've got Kundalini yoga kicking off about 7 o'clock, and then we've got our wild sea dip happening closer to 8. Sunrise that day is 7:55, and we want to be running into the sea as the sun's coming up over the horizon, right? We want it to be
yeah.
juicy. Yeah. So that'll be happening at 7:55. Everybody who takes part in that, back up to the hotel, get yourselves ready. There is an allocated space to get ready, unless you're a staying over guest. If you're an overnight delegate, you can go to your room and get ready. You'll be able to check in when you arrive. So back to the hotel, get ready, and then if you take part in that morning activity, I'm going to feed you breakfast.
Nice.
Yes. So there's a standing networking breakfast after you've all ran into the sea together, seen each other's wobbly bits, and close your wee toes off. So you can all then stand and network afterwards and enjoy that, enjoy each other's company while everybody else comes in and registers in the morning. So that's our morning activity. We then have wild sauna sessions running throughout the day at half-hour intervals. So when you get your booking form, you can choose which sauna session you want to attend. If you do want to attend one, so you take a wee walk to wellness around the old course. It's about an 8-minute walk around the old course. It's gorgeous. It's a beautiful walk. And then the sauna is right there behind the hotel.
Beautiful.
So that'll be running at half-hour intervals throughout the day. So you choose your time slot and you head down for that. And the girls at Wild Scottish Sauna, they're really experienced. They started during lockdown. They own Scotland's largest outdoor sauna community. So they've got, I think, 5 saunas now across the Fife and I think Tayside coast as well. I think they've got the sauna at Broadford. I may be wrong. But they do have 5 and they are Scotland's largest outdoor sauna community. So you're in absolutely fantastic hands there. Really, really well looked after. And then at the end of the day, when the speakers are done, you will be going to see Lee. Lee is amazing. Lee has been doing the Firewalk Scotland for 20 years, I think. And she is absolutely fantastic. Even just being in Lee's presence, you feel more confident. But you don't just have to be in her presence, because Lee will be doing a workshop. So after the last speaker's done, Lee's workshop starts, and it's all about confidence and courage and overcoming fear and knowing that you've got the courage within you. You've always had it. And she takes you through this amazing workshop. Now, Lee's been going 20 years and she's well booked. So you can imagine how good this workshop is, right? It's been well honed. People want her back. This is a really amazing workshop. And at the end of it, you'll be ready to run through the fire.
So much
So
fun.
so much fun running over hot coals. I can't wait for it, actually. I'm really excited. But you will be leaving the summit not just with fire under your feet, but with fire in your belly. Honestly, by the time you've spent that time with Lee and with the women in this room, just the experience is just going to be absolutely game changing. Really, honestly, the energy behind this summit is unreal. It is unreal. So we have, so at that point, our day guests, our day ticket holders will be heading on home. Sorry, guys. And our overnight guests then have a dinner in the ballroom, a 3-course dinner in the ballroom. So everyone who's staying over will be invited along to that. Now, it is included in the price of your ticket. It is going to be really special. But do you know what? If you're feeling by that point, I don't want to go to dinner. I'm not going to chap your hotel room door and force you. But yeah, we have our dinner and then we have our champagne reception and evening entertainment. But let's just call it what it is, an after party, right? So we've got a dinner and we've got a party, and you can just let your hair down, get dressed up, let your hair down, solidify all the friendships you've made through the day, all the connections you've made, all the networking you've done. Let your hair down and just celebrate with a group of other women. You know, community is part of our well-being as women. We really thrive on that. We feel a lot of safety in that. So, you know what? It's time to let your hair down, party with your community, your newfound community.
Excellent.
Yeah. And then the morning after, we have floating sound baths in the Kohler Water Spa as well.
It just is the gift that keeps giving.
It really does. It's amazing. Amazing. The floating sound bath sessions, though, they do run quite early. So if you're heavy on the sauce on the night before, you might not make it. So I think they're 6:30 till 7:30, then 7:30 till 8:30. And I've only got 20 spaces in each one.
Yeah.
So they are very limited and they really need to be booked. Like if you're wanting to do that, you need to get your ticket. Because tickets are going now pretty fast. So yes.
Incredible. So where do people go to find, like, now that they're ready to sign up, where do they go to get signed up?
So you can head over to swwsummit.co.uk. So that's swwsummit.co.uk.
Yep.
And the tickets, there's a little burger menu at the top, and the tickets are, you can hit buy tickets and it'll take you down to the bottom of the page to buy them. They can also DM me if they want to, and I can get them a ticket that way. How else can they get tickets? They can Google Scottish Women's Wellbeing Summit. Now, because I'm on the Visit Scotland website, the ScotRail website, the Welcome to Fife website, my website isn't the first one that comes up when you type that in, but it is all me. Although I think the Visit Scotland link takes you to a page that looks blank, but if you click on the logo, the Scottish Women's Wellbeing Summit logo on it, it takes you to the page.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm on all of those pages, so you can find it there as well. But yeah, so you can look at Scottish Women's Wellbeing Summit on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm really active on LinkedIn at the moment. Yeah, reach out if you've got any questions, if you want to buy tickets. I do group discounts for group bookings. So if you want to come with a few friends, then yep, we can do that, and we can do private tables. So yeah.
Fabulous.
Oh, I almost forgot. Your gift bag. Amazing.
Gift bag.
Gift bag. Just amazing. So you get a gift bag as well, and it has lots of goodies in. So yeah. That's
How
look forward
exciting.
to. Yes.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to this.
I know I am too. I really am.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think I didn't expect it to grow into what it has when I first started. But I've had so many people come on to collaborate or to help me, or you know, who are like, have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? And I'm like, oh yeah. So, and it's all been women.
Yeah.
Apart from Jamal at Dr. Jamal at Esteem Life, who is an ally. We love Jamal. It has all been women. So yes, we're yeah, women all helping women. The summit is walking the walk.
Amazing. I am very much looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to meeting your new life.
I know, me too, me too. Do you know, were you at the Delphine? the opening.
Yes.
So I came along to go to that, right? And I had a hotel booked in Glasgow. Came along during the day. I went away for a massage and a facial, and I spent some time in the sauna. I went back to the room to relax for a little bit before I got ready to come out. I fell asleep. I woke up at 9:30.
Oh, gutted.
Missed it all. Missed it. But for a bit of context, that's the first night I've had away from the twins, and the twins are 3 in October.
So you needed that nap more than you needed to come and meet us.
Yeah. So I haven't had a night out. That's it since they were born. So, and they're 3 in October. So I came along with great intentions to come and meet you all and network, and I fell asleep.
Sleep was more important.
Well, listen, I needed it. I woke up, I ordered some like cake and chips, and I started just random room service, and I've just picked, and then I fell back asleep. I think I was awake for about half an hour watching some, I don't even know what I was watching, some rubbish on the telly in the hotel, and fell back asleep. And then I woke up naturally the next day. No alarm for kids, just naturally. It's like
there's the dream.
bliss. It was absolute bliss.
Well, I think that was better for you than coming to a networking event.
I think I needed it. I think it was really what I needed at that point. I really needed to just relax and rest and sleep. But I was really gutted when I seen all the pictures going up the next day. I was like, oh, it looked amazing. And I really wanted to come and meet you all in person. So yeah.
There'll be other opportunities, if not before your event, at your actual event. We will be there.
For sure. So I can't wait to see you all anyway.
Yes. Anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
If you're a woman in leadership, serious about your well-being, the well-being of your colleagues, you need to come along to the Scottish Women's Wellbeing Summit. If you are a woman who's serious about her own well-being, who wants to be armed with knowledge for your own self, you need to come along to this conference. If you are a female founder who works in well-being, you need to come along to this conference. There's loads of information and education for you guys, but also really good networking opportunities. And if you are an employer, a wellbeing lead, a DEI lead, a HDR, you really want to be sending your women along to this summit, as many of them as you can, because the information that they're going to get and that they're going to bring back to you, and how valued they're going to feel that you've sent them on this summit. This is an investment in retention and growth. You really want to be sending them.
Yes. Amazing. Definitely come along. Come along. Thank you so much for your time, Lesley. If you have listened and you know that your boss should be sending people along, or you know somebody else that should be sending people along, please share this podcast with them and tell them to get their tickets sorted for their employees or females in their life.
Yeah. The Scottish Government is really pushing to make Scotland a world leader in women's health. Employers in Scotland should really be pushing for that too. You know, if you are a world leader, if you're recognised as a world leader in women's wellbeing in the workplace, you're going to attract top talent. But not only that, you're going to retain the talent that you've got for longer. You really are.
Yeah.
It's an investment in your bottom line.
Yes. And a happy workforce is a productive workforce.
Absolutely. It's not about being trendy.
It is not. It is not. Right. Thank you so much, Lesley. This was fantastic.
Amazing. It was great to talk to you, Jen.